Welcome back to Let the People Decide. Dan Belcher, I am here with Adrian Otap, and we are going to get back into it.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show, Dan. Appreciate
You bet. We appreciate you coming in, and we were first talking about kind of how the Second Amendment petition went as far as dropping.
Well, okay. I know we were just talking during the break about some of the things that we were going to, talk about during this segment. Sure. But, you mentioned Second Amendment issues and what we did today at the state Supreme Court.
Yes.
And I want to say this. It's awesome that we're doing this because this is an issue that affects all Oklahomans, which is absolutely something that OTU is in favor of.
Absolutely.
But on a more local level, and I'm sure you've heard about this, what the mayor of Oklahoma City has planned for the Scissortail Park grand opening.
Oh, I haven't heard this. I know what his plan was as far as the petition in the first place. So.
Okay, so you mean that they made a media circus out of the mayor of Oklahoma City signing that petition?
I do. I saw it.
Okay, so but you're not aware of the Scissortail Park grand opening situation.
Tell me they're not involved.
Who's
Hit
they?
Me. No, that's what I say. Tell me David Holt is not taking this particular issue and turning it into...
Well, this issue being Second Amendment rights and guns and what the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act says in regards to where one may carry.
Okay.
So what do you know as far as what the law is regarding public parks, which is what Scissortail Park is going to be?
Yes, that you should be able to carry there.
Absolutely. And in the case of public trust properties.
Okay, not as familiar with public trust.
Okay, public trusts are things like the Gathering Place in Tulsa, the Tulsa Aquarium, the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Gotcha. Okay.
At present law allows you to carry there.
Okay.
However you wish to, open or concealed. After November 1st, assuming constitutional carry goes into effect, which I believe it will.
I do too.
The rule will be, or the law will be, at a public trust property, you can only carry concealed.
Okay.
But you still can carry.
Sure.
Okay. The grand opening of Scissortail Park is scheduled for the end of next month, end of September.
Yes.
The mayor's plan is to have security checkpoints with the Oklahoma City Police checking to see people's handgun licenses.
Wow.
And right now, the city of Tulsa, they're being drug over the coals and they're in legal hot water for basically trying to do the same thing with this year's Gay Pride Parade up there.
Oh, wow.
They had fenced off areas. They had people wanding folks in. They actually had a person arrested for carrying outside their boundaries. They just didn't want to deal with him, so they said, "Sir, turn around," and they confiscated his firearm, and he has yet to receive it back, which is a violation of the Oklahoma Self-Defense Act.
Isn't that crazy? How far will these people go?
Right.
How far will these people
go? At a breakfast event that the mayor spoke at within the last month, I asked him afterwards, and he told me to my face that basically his stance is that he can set up a safety checkpoint at any public location, and then we, the people, are obligated to identify and show our handgun licenses at that checkpoint. And to me, one, he's already in some hot water from conservatives for his rhetoric of wanting Oklahoma City to be a welcoming city,
right?
Which, let's admit, that's a euphemism for the euphemism of sanctuary city.
Right.
And I don't see how the equivalent for gun owners of show me your papers and stop and frisk is very welcoming if not even willing to do that for illegal aliens.
Yeah, ain't no joke.
Ain't no joke.
So, well, I don't know how far these guys are willing to push it, but I'm going to guarantee you this. They're going to push it as far as we let them.
As far as we let them. As long as we don't push back, it's, they're bullies.
Well, sure.
They're bullies, basically. If you don't push back, they're going to keep doing it.
Well, and that's the thing is, what do you do to a bully?
Mm-hmm.
You stand up to them, and then what do? They take their toys and they run home.
Away.
Because they've never had to be involved with somebody who goes and says, guess what? I'm not going to have it anymore. Yeah. And so once we go and we get in the fray of the fight, these people will tuck their tail and run.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem is that nobody's willing to do it because they're afraid, like we talked off.
Right. They're afraid of what they're going to be called, what they're going to be accused of. If you stand against, as they like to say, progressive values and ideas,
Mm-hmm.
you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're this, you're that, and they're going to call you all kinds of naughty names, and that's their nuclear option, and they expect that once they do that to you, you'll have nothing to say, you'll have no defense against that, when that is far from the truth.
Right. Well, and we were even talking about on the last segment the OEA and the NEA, and I thought that the biggest one that was just amazing, and especially for conservatives, was the doxing in their actual manual
No.
that says that they are actually encouraging people to, if they don't serve LGBTQ people,
Mm-hmm.
that they write their name down and they blast out their business. The
So-
business that they own, to make sure that everybody
knows
not to do business with
with
them.
them.
So now they're actively trying to
Well,
mess with what?
well,
The
they're-
free market.
They're trying to mess with the free market. They're trying to ruin people's lives. They're trying to interfere with people's livelihoods. And I'll tell you.
But they're the party of equality.
Well, right, they're the party of equality and diversity and inclusion.
That's it.
You know, but here's the thing. What is it? They don't want diversity of thought. They don't want diversity of ideas. They want superficial diversity.
Right.
They want everybody to look different but think the same.
That's right. The way they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't,
And
then guess what? We're going to hurt you for it.
We're
We're going to
gonna
hurt your
hurt you for it.
character. We're going to hurt your pocketbook. We're going to
Yeah.
hurt your livelihood.
Well, and this reminds me of something that I indirectly, personally experienced being out on the campaign trail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're familiar with Leslie Nesmith,
Uh-huh.
you know, one of the fellow hosts here.
Yep.
And last session she ran for Senate District 22.
Correct.
And there was an incident where she said something in a video with her father, joking around as daughters and fathers do, and some America-hating subversive liberal took it the wrong way and ran with it, and tried to ruin her over it.
Right.
And thank goodness, she's a small business owner. She doesn't have to worry about getting fired from her job because somebody somewhere heard something they didn't like that hurt their feelings, and doesn't understand the concept that her rights don't stop where their feelings begin.
Well, that's it. I couldn't have said it better myself.
No.
So, I mean, that's the thing, is that we have to be done with the days to where the quote-unquote political consequences that are from standing up for the truth.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. And a lot of times, that's what's going to differentiate people's campaigns, is who is actually willing to get dirty, who is actually willing to get in the fray, and not worry about the consequences, because they've been cold wars. Hey, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened to sticks and stones, right?
That's it.
It's kind of like what Thomas Jefferson said about freedom of religion.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, as long as it neither breaks my leg nor picks my pocket, what do I care?
Well, and that's the thing, is I've got an 8-year-old son, and that's the exact presentation of what the American system is that I present to him, is you have the ability, the unfettered ability to do whatever it is that you can do, as long as you don't infringe on somebody else's ability to do what they can do.
That's right.
And as long as you can live within that balance, that's the American dream. That's it. And they've toppled that American dream. They've toppled the balance that was created by the founding fathers. And if we don't step up and take that back, they're not going to give it to us.
And they're doing it in their misguided quest for this mythical equality thing. They want equality of outcome and not equality of opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Pragmatic. Pragmatism at its worst.
Right.
Towards like the outcome justifies the means with which you get there.
Well, and it's very hypocritical when you talk about them and their love affair with diversity, for one thing, because diversity amongst a given population means you're not all the same. Some people are going to have different abilities than others, different desires than others, different goals than others. So with that being said, why in the world would you expect them to all be striving for the same goal and seek the same outcome? It's insane to think that way, but that's what they want.
Well, it's because they're easier to control.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you control the mindset, when you control the education, and that's what we had even talked about, is Saul Alinsky.
Mm-hmm.
What is number 7 of number 8 of how to create a socialist society?
You have
Control education.
Control education. get to the children, get to them while they're young, lay that foundation early, and then build upon it. And they want to do so in a way that usurps parental authority.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want to view us as parents as just some type of redundancy.
Yeah.
And it brings to mind the question ultimately of who owns your children, you or the state.
Uh-huh.
And the state being the public school system.
That's it. And they have no embarrassment to tell you that they own them.
That's right.
That the state owns them.
And that is not the case. Again, I mentioned before, I don't have any children, but I plan to have some. And when I've helped out in the raising of others, I made in no uncertain terms. No, you are not in charge. We are. We are not going to give you an inch, although you are willing to take it. And unlike so many other parents that are happy to abdicate their responsibilities because it's hard. It takes time. Path of least resistance. They have to work. They have to send them to daycare, and then they go to school. And my goodness, let's just talk about who has more face time with the kids.
Well, that's it.
And you have to maximize those opportunities when those children are in front of you.
That's it. Well, this is an awesome conversation, and I wanted to circle back to the 2A because I didn't know how familiar you are with what the next step is. I know that what was it? Dan is the or Don.
Don Spencer.
Yes. He kind of gave us an indication, and so did Calvi.
Yeah, Kevin Calvi.
What the next steps are, and kind of what time frames we're looking at. Let us know what you know as far as what's next to be expected.
There's not a lot of information out right now. What Kevin Calvi had to say during the press conference wasn't very, very informative, but basically we've gone through the steps, the process that needs to be done, dotted the I's, crossed the T's, and it's in the hands of the state Supreme Court now. So everything that's needed to be filed with them has been, it's at their leisure. They're the Supreme Court. They kind of do things on their timetable. The things that have needed to be done across the street, so to speak, at the state capitol, at the Secretary of State's office, that's been done as well. So hopefully within the coming weeks, we're going to find out how the state Supreme Court feels about this, keeping in mind that by the end of this week, we're looking at the deadline for them to get the petition signatures they need.
Yeah, I think it was like 8 days from now to be able to. They needed 60,000, wasn't it?
Right. Approximately 60,000 signatures is what they need, and so either way, if they make it to that amount, if they don't make it that amount, it's not going to proceed. If they do, then this
is in place already.
This is in place already. So when the Supreme Court looks at it, if they view it the way Don Spencer, OK2A, OTU, and all of these 36 legislators view it, then basically there's going to put a halt to it.
Well, it was presented on deception in the first place, and so these signatures aren't valid because it has to be the truth that is that you're getting people to sign up for in the first place.
Absolutely. It has to be the truth. And, they're not even being honest with where the support for this initiative is coming from.
Right.
And just understanding that, and that they want to conceal, the origins of it and where the backers are. It's cause for concern enough.
It's deception at its highest point.
It is. We talk about, or the mainstream media talks about, they're beating us over the head with this Russian interference in our electoral process, Russian interference, Chinese interference, foreign interference. Well, you know what? If you're in Oklahoma, we have our own Oklahoma political process, and kind of like Kendra Horn.
Uh-huh.
When you've got all these campaign contributions coming from New York and California and other places that far exceed the total amount of Oklahoma contributions, that's foreign interference.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. And it's no different with this petition initiative.
Well, it's subversion. Well, anybody who's watching, and again, one more time, if you're just tuning in with us for the very first time, we are glad that you're here, and you're going to be seeing and hearing ways of thinking that are not presented in the mainstream. And so we hope that you stay with us. Like the page, donate. We've got plenty of memorabilia and things, hats, Make America Great Again.
T-shirts,
everything.
You name it. Go to the Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite website. Go to the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/OTU Media. Become a patron. Anything you can contribute would be greatly appreciated. Absolutely support us. But not only that, follow us. Keep track of different events that are going on. Many of us will be at these events, these town hall meetings, these luncheons, these dinners, these invitation-only events for donors that the general public doesn't get to go to. We're pulling back the curtain, folks. And even at some of these things where the media is present, they're going to give you a snippet. They're going to give you a sound bite. If we're there, we're going to live stream the whole thing if possible. If not, we're just going to give you a different inside perspective on what's happened. So keep that in mind.
Perfect. And you can tell I'm the guest host and he's done this before. So you guys stay tuned with us. Catch our next podcast. Anything that you have any questions about, just shoot us a message, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.